Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day and had a wonderful weekend. We're taking a look at Gala once more, seeing what's going to happen next. Essentially, we may just reverse the Fibonacci retracement levels or redraw them out. Essentially, kind of see what's going on there. But generally speaking, Gala is showing some strength here, and we want to see if we're going to break through this resistance level. We are at a point right now where the price action broke through that resistance at about 5 cents, or maybe round up to 5.1. We want to confirm if this is going to come down and work as a support level now, that previous resistance, or if it's going to die off, so to speak. There's a lot of little things that we can pick up on to kind of see what's going on. So again, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love to teach people to trade. Been trading and teaching for over 17 years now, so I hope you can learn something here today. I do have a Discord where we all learn and grow together. CryptoCash.tech is a site where you can go ahead and register. Phenomenal traders in here too. We're all banding together and just working towards a common goal, making sure that we help each other be successful. Because honestly, trading alone, even though it's an independent type of scenario, it's an occupation where you're doing better off if you learn from a collective, right? So a lot of our members are just doing very well, considering the fact that they're all kind of sticking together, and I love to see that. They've come a long ways. We're also using the best exchange in the country. So Bitget, they do allow for us to have somewhere between $5,000 to $15,000 prize pool monthly. It's based on volume. So really, all you gotta do is use the link down below to register, and you'll qualify for the bonus, right? So it's really simple, easy to use, and just the best exchange you can possibly use. And the thing you need to recognize that if you're going to be in the States or just a country that is restricted for leverage, you will need a VPN. So you get 3 months free with a 12-month plan through Express. Link in the description below. Thank you, Express and Bitget, for just making my community a much better place. So here's the thing with Gala, we want to kind of look at some standard stuff here. So we can draw some Fibonacci retracement levels based on recent data instead of taking a large perspective, because if you saw what I had here previously, you can see that these are some nice large Fibonacci retracement levels, but we want to have some smaller ones or more recent and more relevant to establish the closer time frame. So in other words, we want to take the most recent high to the most recent low. We'll go ahead and reverse these Fibonacci retracement levels, or unreverse, because it was default to that, and then kind of just see where it's going to happen here, right? Because for the most part, these Fibonacci retracement levels are going to be places in which the price will come up and kind of consolidate, retrace, etc. Okay, so we can kind of see right now there is a decent amount of resistance at this range here, right at about the 5.5 mark. So we can expect that to probably continue to maintain itself as a strong resistance level. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what this tells us here. So let's go ahead and come in here a little bit and get perspective. So first things first, we want to take a quick look at the moving averages. Kind of see that we're above the 200, which is fantastic. That's at strong support at 4 cents. I've identified that previously, but now that we're above that, you can see it worked as a strong bouncing point. So the great news is, if the price were to pull back, there's a great likelihood the price will hold that level. Okay, the 200 is very, very strong support. We've also got the 50-day SMA working its way up to inevitably give us a golden cross somewhere down the road. So there's a good probability of that as well. Okay, so that really just means that we are on the bullish side of the tracks, and that a long position is much more viable than a short position as far as overall growth and consistency, right? So you're going to find more luck or more fortune going to the upside than you are to the downside. Keep in mind, RSI is looking a bit on the overextended side, but it's breaking through that resistance level, and oftentimes that can work as a support. So we could very well see the RSI just starting off at 70 and continuing higher from here. With the MACD, you can see it's starting to lose its momentum. So hypothetically, we should see a divergence, but it never happened, right? Just continued to converge, so to speak, kind of bounced off that level. So now that we've broken through 70, that should work as a support. What's great about this, though, and we'll see this on smaller time frames, is this resistance level here. You can see it pretty definitively right there at the 0.618 Fibonacci. By the way, if you're using Fibonacci retracement levels or you're learning about Fibonacci, 0.618 is the most common retracement level on every single Fibonacci circumstance, right? Circles, charts, graphs, whatever Fibonacci you're using, 0.618 is the most consistent. So with us having broken through that as a potential resistance or previous resistance level, reaffirms that it's probably going to work as a support level moving forward. So 5.1 should be a bouncing point if the price pulls back any further. Again, you can kind of see this line in the sand here. There's a pretty obvious, do not pass go, do not collect $100 right there at that level. Okay, so that previous resistance level having been tested once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and then broken to the upside, there's a strong chance it's going to work as a support moving forward. Okay, so everything on the daily looks pretty darn solid. I really like what I see here so far. Keep in mind this candle wick right here was a pretty significant candle wick for Bitcoin. It did kind of wick up in that previous candlestick, that previous 4th hour. So there's a good chance that little push, that little pump from Bitcoin kind of pushed it above the edge there. But generally speaking, we can kind of see this definitive line here. It did, of course, break above, but it was able to close above on the daily. So to me, today, if the price were to close above 0.618, that 5.1 cent mark, then we're looking at a strong likelihood of the price action continuing higher from here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put myself a little alert at like just a little bit above 5.1. See where that kind of gives us here later today. If we get a closure above that level, I think we're looking to be pretty decent for potential long there. Okay, so just keep in mind it's looking pretty nice. There's a handful of other reasons too, but just that's a good bumper sticker version there. We can also see that the RSI is staying and maintaining above 50 and below 70. We like to see that. That's exactly what you want to see on a continuation, specifically on the 4-hour. Same thing with the MACD here as well. It's still converging. You can see this oscillator starting to increase, so it's gaining momentum to the upside. Could very well see a circumstance like this again here in the relative near future, just based on that previous resistance level being broken and establishing itself as a new support. We saw the same exact thing happen with it back here as well, when it was right there at about 2.4, when I covered it back at the beginning of the month, and obviously it took off from there. Okay, so really cool stuff here. All in all, I can say the 4-hour looks pretty healthy. Let's quickly double check TD sequential. We can kind of see we're getting a lot of resets here. We came down to a 9 recently, and we bounced off this level here at about 4.2, 4.3, and then it's continued kind of up and down ever since. It's been fairly sporadic, but also fairly consistent with making higher lows. Okay, so higher lows is what you really want to see in a trend reversal, and that's what we're seeing here so far. Even though there are, the higher highs are not consistent, the higher lows are, and that to me is the most important. I like higher lows in an ascending trend, and I like lower highs in a descending trend. So that's essentially where we're at there on the 4-hour. I would say both the daily and the 4-hour look fairly strong. The hourly, we can see there's no overextension here just yet. Keeps getting resets around 5s and 4s, which is good. Ichimoku cloud confirming that we are above all areas here in which we are free and clear of the price action, so long position may be viable. Conversion lines above the baseline, and of course we're above the cloud. So as you can see, as per usual, the retracement point of where I'm looking for, where I would like to get in, is essentially right there where the cloud is consolidating. So the cloud's going to be there. So in another 24 hours, again, if we're close above this level, we should be in good shape to stay above the cloud naturally, and for a long position to be much more viable. Okay, so those are all little things that I try to look for here. I can say that Gala's looking fairly strong even still. The only variable is, of course, the big dog here, Bitcoin. If Bitcoin has a tendency of pulling back, which I just covered Bitcoin earlier, it does look very strong even still. It's just been overextended for too long, right? So a natural correction would make sense. If it keeps going up, it's just not, it's ideal in some circumstances, but not in others, right? So generally speaking, if we see a correction from Bitcoin, what I'm trying to get at here is we can expect some kind of correction from Gala, okay? Because again, you see these things happen, right? See Bitcoin comes up here, got rejected, and came down. You can see that very similar circumstance where Gala, albeit overextended leading into it, was also corrected too. So significant candles for Bitcoin lead to significant candles and corrections from Gala too, okay? So if Bitcoin comes down to the 21,700 mark, which I think is very realistic, or perhaps fills that gap between 19,900 and 21,000, we will see a correction from Gala down to these lower fib levels. Just keep in mind this support level here at about 4.1 is very strong. So there's a great chance whether that can maintain and hold, because that's where the 200-day SMA is averaging itself out, and that's a very positive sign. So I say mostly green lights here for Gala, pending Bitcoin making a massive correction. It's really what we're looking for. So again, looking for a candlestick closure today at 0.618, that 5.1 mark, and I think we might be in pretty good shape to see a higher high and higher low moving forward from Gala. Thank you for watching. Hope this made sense. Best of luck out there. Be cautious and careful. And of course, you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.